conflict is complex, right? So every time there's a fight or a theft or a car theft, that's never a simple problem. If a 15-year-old is in a physical altercation, it's never like there's not a good guy and a bad guy, and restorative response allows there to be context and for people to be whole and to be able to air and figure out root causes.
Restorative Response Baltimore offers alternatives to suspension, arrest, and court. Our processes hold people and youth accountable for their actions, allow those impacted by an event to be heard, and provide the opportunity to collectively decide how to move forward.
I initially went to law school, and after graduating law school, I worked with Maryland Legal Aid, and I did a lot of trial work in housing termination prevention, and I absolutely love trials. But no matter how successful I was, there was always kind of a thorn in my side. And it's just, I realized that success never really felt like winning because there's only so much you can do in the court system. Criminal courts and our current justice system relies on, retributive or punitive foundations. Who did something wrong? What's the law say? How do we punish them? Restorative justice instead looks at, who was harmed. What does that person need to be made whole, and whose responsibility is it to meet that need? How do we make this right moving forward, and ideally get to the root causes of the conflict? And we do that in dialogue by bringing folks together to talk about what had happened, how they were affected by it, what they'd like to see happen to make it right, and everyone's given an appropriate voice. And we realize that conflict's not just binary. It's not a victim and an offender. But there's a lot that generally goes on before that incident happened in the first place, and we don't just define someone by who they were on their worst day, but we actually look at who they are, period.
We say the wisdom is in the community or the wisdom is in the circle a lot here at Restorative Response Baltimore as a way to reaffirm the communities that we work with and reaffirm their agency. A lot of our community had been stripped away of their voice. I've been told that they don't have a voice, and a lot of organizations going to these communities wanting to provide them with the answer and wanting to tell them how to solve the issues that they're facing rather than understanding that they're the experts. And so the wisdom is in the community or the wisdom is in the circle for us acknowledges that our community members already know and have the tools to deal with the issues that they face. It's a matter of one being provided the platform to express that, and most importantly, be able to provide the space to express that. And so we are able to create that space where community members can reaffirm their agency and tell us what it is that they need to get to where they would like to be.
Restorative Response Baltimore's community conferencing process is a viable alternative to the traditional juvenile justice system, keeping youth from entering the prison system and offering them an opportunity to thrive.
A community conference is a tool where everyone who's involved in or affected by a conflict or a specific incident come together so that everyone involved in and affected by it can talk about what happened, how they're affected by what happened, and lastly and most importantly, come up with a way to move forward.
I think that Baltimore, as much as any other large metropolitan area, has a huge gulf between rich and poor, between people who have a lot and people who have very little. And anything that can bridge gaps between different strata of the community and make connections with people and allow people to heal together as opposed to driving people apart is a positive thing. And that's something that Restorative Response Baltimore is part of the core mission in terms of finding a restorative justice solution to problems that were traditionally held as adversarial. And I think that anything that brings people together is a positive change.